that work, man. And they were beating the shit out of us just like they doing now. All right, it says, verse 12, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Hey, so the more they afflicted them, the more they burdened our people, the more they multiplied and grew, man. So Jake was stressed out. Jake was going through hell, and what Jake do is they use this, they have sex as a stress reliever, man.
That's right. That's right.
They start having those babies. They multiply. They keep popping the woman. You know.
Yeah. You getting stressed on the job. You go home, and all you can do is put your wife into subjection.
Yeah.
You taking it out on her ass and back shot. All your stress, and then you got all these babies coming, man.
Hey, cause you'll be on 12-hour shifts all day in the hot sun, no breaks. No breaks, and you have to come home and you be like, oh man, you tell, lay down, bitch. And you pop the woman, and then and Jake was having multiple women at that time, man. Yeah. So Jake was multiplying, bro, and they did not like that.
Hey, that was what pissed them off.
Exactly.
Like how the hell we thought we thought we killed about 100,000 of them, and they came back with 100,000.
That's what Frieza said. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Every time he came back, it's his most Super Saiyans, and that's how it is. That's how it is here in Babylon, man. Especially with Iskar, right?
Yeah, and that's why Frieza he blew up the planet.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. He blew up their planet to try to eradicate them.
Yeah. Esau wish he could do that, man.
The Lord preserved the remnant. There was still a remnant of Saiyans the Lord preserved.
Yeah. Damn.
Lord, Esau trying to erase us right now, but the more he tried, all the chemicals he put in the air, all the food he defiled of us, all the alcohol stores and drug dealers and all the drugs that he put in our neighborhoods, Jake is still multiplying more. No matter how much they try to burden Jake and afflict Jake multiplied that much more. All right, like I said, you got Iskarites, man. All right, especially
Issachar.
They have like 3 different jobs. And they be working those jobs the same day, or they will sit up at Home Depot, trying to get a job. All right, and they will make sure they work it, man. And then when they go home, what do you think they're doing, man? All right, and they got the little minivans with all the Iskarites lapped up in one minivan. They just be coming out. It was a proverb about them about that, man. So that just shows you how much he multiplied and he was being fruitful. And even today, and now, Jake is being fruitful, man. You got, a lot of Jake men, they'll have like 5, 6, 7 baby mamas, all right?
Right.
And they just continue going on to the next woman, because it's not meant for Jake to stay upon one woman.
Hey, you had to add on, speaking on that, multiplying with the woman and the kids multiplying. Look at that rapper, Young Boy, man. He got like what, 10 kids or plus? Cause he under oppression. He signed himself over to the devil. All right, to the high elites, and now he over there stressing, and he got money. He's stressing, but he got money. He's stressing because he's required to do things that's wickedness. But guess what? He making more kids. You see what I'm saying? But it shows you that Jake in the projects, in the slums, in the low income areas.
Hey, well, even my father, these brothers' father too, he got our dad got like 12, 14 kids. We like 14 kids. We got brothers and sisters we ain't even met yet. Yeah, so Jake is fruitful. Jake gonna multiply. That's a commandment as well.
They had a proverb for that. They call it the Rolling Stone.
Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Everywhere he laid his hat was his home. Yeah. So Jake go anywhere and make a home, make a family. And that's the power the Most High gave us to create life.
It says continue.
With that, Jake is still in captivity, and it still shows that we're still a curse. We're still cursed because what? Jake getting put on child support. Jake can't see his kids. You had to the rapper DDG. He can't see his son, man. He can only get to see him 13 days out of 1 year, man. And that's a curse. No matter how far you get here in Babylon, you still cursed, man. All right. No matter how much you give your rent in up to these damn devils, you're still gonna be cursed. All right.
If I may add, I just want to run into that this morning too. And that's why the Lord's gonna bless us so heavily, man. It's gonna get to a point where it's hard to balance now in this body. But brothers gonna get to a point where brothers be able to say, I got a trillion kids, man. I got a trillion sons. And even just hearing it now is like, damn, a trillion children, a trillion sons. That's gonna be our future, man. That's our lot. our life, man. And the Lord is going to bless us with that. So
Yeah.
we say, Israel is like the sand of the sea.
And we're gonna be able to keep up with all of them too, man. You know, we'll be able to, oh, I gotta go to my son here, I gotta go to my son there. You know, and you would train them, you know, or you would just, you know, just see them out once or twice, or 3 times out the year, and just, hey, how you doing, son? You know what I'm saying? Because you got so many different sons. But you can remember every single one of their names.
Hey, you're gonna have forever to do that, man. Forever. Forever.
You got them right?
It says, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel, is the point, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Hey, so they was grieved because of the children of Israel.
So somebody grab that word rigor.
I got it right here. It's the word rigor. It says harshness. It says harshness.
So as they was working, it was harsh. The work was harsh, man. All right. So we working and as we working, we going through hell. You know.
I say, who wants some water?
It says harshness. It says severity, and dealing with persons. Force, cruelty.
Yeah, cruelty. You know. So we were forced to work for these devils, man. All right. So they continuously put more and more fire on our ass. All right. Because they was getting mad and angry. Now we was just keep multiplying.
It
So
says
we kept making more babies.
right. It says hardness, firmness, roughness, rudeness.
Amen.
And it was being rude about it. It was putting Jake through hell. You know, you got pictures of those Egyptians, which are really the Sudanese, and they tall as hell. But you have pictures of them holding Jacob, you know, by the hair. You know, you have, you know, they was putting their foot on Jake's neck. That's why them pyramids was built so beautifully. Like, we can't duplicate this. That's because Jake was getting their ass beat, man. You had a long neck, you know, Sudanese standing over you with his foot in your neck, you know. So they was putting hell upon it. It wasn't just slavery. They was beating the shit out of us in the midst of slavery.
Yeah.
That's why Moses ended up killing that Egyptian, because he seen how he was treating the Israelite, man.
And that's what we went through in every captivity, was rigorous, you know, slavery, rigorous work. All right, you know, I was watching Birth of a Nation, and you had it where they put, you know, the main character, Nat Turner, they put him out there into the cotton fields. You know, I believe he was like 10, but he was very young, man. And as he's working, you know, he's getting yelled at, and you got to pick the cotton. And as you're picking the cotton, you know, you getting cut. All right, but you still gotta keep a steady pace, or even faster. You slow down, you getting a whip to your ass, man. All right, you got to be the quota. You got to be the quota. 10 pounds of cotton. And cotton's light, bro. How can you pick 10 pounds of cotton? That's crazy.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, bro. That's harsh work, man. So guess what? We're gonna put these devils through harsher work.
Hey, and if you didn't meet that quota, you got lashes. You know, you had a certain amount of lashes.
When they put you in on that one box,
With the hot box.
The hot box.
They got a box now that you're sitting in the sun, and the brother had did it.
That was Django.
Yeah, Django. And you said that video recently. Now what they doing in Louisiana, they have a horse carriage outside in the sun. And when Jake don't want to pick that cotton while they in prison, they throw you in there, man.
And that shit is baking in the sun. So when you get in there, that shit burning you up. You know, it's metal.
I got a precept.
It's like getting in a car, and you know it's been sitting in the sun all day, and you get in that mother, you touch the dashboard, that bit hot as I don't know what. That bit baking now. Imagine something.
Hey, by the way, too, when you get in your car and it's hot like that, you really got to roll the windows down and let that shit air out, because the interior of the car, once it bake like that and get hot, those fumes are poisonous. It causes cancer. You know, show you we in hell.
I got a precept.
Well, you got to get the
Yeah. Yep. That was on that. Hold on, bro. It's more.
That was the word. I had grabbed rigor.
Okay, well go back to that precept. Finish that up.
Okay.
Go back up a verse and then finish it up.
Okay. Going up in verse 13 or verse 12, it says, "But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel." Your point.
They was getting mad, bro. It was damn, bro. The more we get more hell in these, Jake, there's more of them coming out. We can't get rid of them. It's like, we doing everything we can, all right, to stress Jake out and afflict Jake. You know how you would have it where if a nigga don't like you, or probably at work, you be at work, he don't like you, you put extra work on you on purpose, like your boss or your manager. He give you insane tasks to do.
Yeah, for real.
So that's how they was doing every single Israelite, bro. They don't like that. They gonna give you some insane tasks to do, and Jake was still doing it. And he would go home, be stressed out about it, and still pop a woman and bring forth more children.
Go home and do some other insane impossible.
You know?
Go back to work. It says,
Verse 13 is the point. Because imagine having more slaves than you have masters, man. That's a country you soon overtaken, man.
right.
So when you have more slaves in captivity, that those slaves are gonna be like, you know what, bro, we got way more members than this. We can just overtake these niggas, man. All right? And that's why these devils were seeing that when we was in actual slavery, they see that they couldn't embrace us. We kept multiplying. It was like, okay, you know, in the movie Birth of a Nation, they was at a plantation, they was like, the slaves started to revolt, and it's a lot of them, and a few of us. All right, so we need a preacher to come and see them.
And to pacify them.
Exactly.
That's what the Christian church does. It pacifies our people.
Yeah.
It takes all the fight and bark out of a man, to the point where they just, they just lie down.
Exactly. They comply with these devils, and that's what these devils did now, bro. All right, it's like, okay, it's getting too many of these niggas, man. It's going to get to a point where they're going to overtake us. All right, so let's give them the delusion of being free, of being in the land of the free, where they were, initially taken as slaves. Initially wasn't free yet. Let's call this land of free and give them the delusion of being free. So they multiplying, and we still killing them and putting them hard, rigorous work. All right, without them knowing. And Jake fell for it. See?
Well, it says, with the point was 15, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. Verse 14, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
So they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, man. All right, with hard slavery, hard captivity, rigorous work. All right? And as you're doing this work, you're getting, a foot up your neck, on your neck, man. You're getting chastised, you're getting afflicted. And it just makes the work that much harder. All right? So and then the Egyptians, they were angry because as they were doing that, Jake wasn't, Jake wasn't reducing in numbers at all. Jake keep coming back more and more and more. Yeah, you started to get irritated, bro.
Or it's like you ever seen somebody smash a pregnant spider?
Yeah.
And all the little babies come out and start scattering. Ooh, ooh.
And you can't get them all.
And now you're overwhelmed.
Now you're overwhelmed. Some of the little baby spiders go hide in the wall somewhere. Now they growing up, and now they having babies. That was what happened.
It says, finishing up, and mortar, and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
So all their service, building the pyramids, building their buildings, making their buildings, they would serve in rigorous, slavery, hard bondage. All those things was built through that hard bondage, man. All right? And Jake was having more babies and was giving them, at the same time, it was giving them more slaves, all right, to continue to build up their kingdom.
They thought the problem was, it wasn't that they was having more babies, it was that the fact that the enemy came to overtake Egypt, Jake would join forces with them.
Yeah, there's a precept for that.
Yeah, it's a precept for that.
Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, see if you can find it. About how lest they rise with the enemy and overtake us.
Yeah. But yeah, Jake, you have all these different, so many Jake, all right? But all those Jake, will, help build up Egypt more. All right?
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and
Hold on, was that on that? Okay.
Exodus 1 and verse 10, we start at verse 8. It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Because, when you go into the history of it, the former Pharaoh, he was cool with Joseph.
Right.
But then arose a new Pharaoh that didn't know Joseph. It says,
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Mightier, showing you that we're stronger.
Yeah.
We're stronger than all these nations, man.
Better genetics.
Better genetics. We're going into that. Even amongst the Hamites.
Exactly.
The Hamites long and linky, soft as shit. They punch like pillows.
And that's
But Jake's strong. You see how Goku gonna be punching? Maybe they punch a hole for your fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's Jake, bro. One people shall be stronger than the other.
So they're more mightier than us, man.
And
So you got one Jake that's, that can take out two Jake, two of them at least, man.
Hey, to back you up, you probably had Jake back then looking like down Ronnie Coleman, you know?
Right.
All big and shit.
Yeah, because he was working.
Yeah.
He was working and he was eating good food. He was eating the probiotics and prebiotics. Jake was eating the good food. So Jake was in that big,
Oh, good.
you know?
Dang.
Yeah, yo. So, that was a scary sight. All right, especially for the ones that are in rule. All right, it's for your slaves to look more mightier and be more mightier than you. You know, like you said, we was going into that, bro. I had a video I was going into on TikTok, and it was like black people versus white people, quote unquote, in the track meet. They had the white people start off first, all right, to race, and then you had Jake caught up to him like that, man. You know, and they was just like, you know, wow, bro, you know, it's their genetics. they couldn't help but admit they're black.
No matter what obstacles in our way,
Yeah.
we just better.
And one of the Edomites, they was like, I was running, and all I seen was a black flash just come right by me. It was funny. But at the same time,
A-Train.
Yeah.
They call him A-Train because when he running so fast, it's like a train coming to you. You know? It goes on to say verse 10. So I'm going to read verse 9 again, actually. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. And that sounds like Frieza. Because Frieza was afraid of what? He was afraid of the Super Saiyan. You know? It says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war,
So they were like, hey, let's do wise.
Shalom, Akim, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Who got a cord and
how mighty they are.
go ahead.
They got a cord?
It says, it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
Mm.
And so,
Hold on, bring that back.
it says, when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
So when it come out to any war, they gonna go on it. So they were scared of that. You know, they were terrified Jake would turn on them. So like, okay, let's be a little wise with it. You know, that's sometimes let's be a little light on them. All right. So when we do go on war and our enemies do try to overtake us, they don't join our other forces.
You see what happened on slave movies. When the slaves when they finally get to the boat, they go against that slave master that was being an asshole to them. What they do, they made Jake turn up on even more. They more violent against them, man. Right? That's why they did it. It was like, let's ease up on them because that violence that they're gonna endure, man. They know that Jake gonna give it to them.
Hold on, they didn't say this gonna ease up on them. It said taskmasters over Jake to afflict the martyr. But they will make if Jake try to rise up against them, they will make an example out of that Jake, so the other Jakes don't revolt. You know?
But you have it where, you know, Jake, you will have it where Jake will have, they will be ready to revolt, man, especially in slavery. You know, at any moment, you know, you have one Jake that will start up a whole revolt. And that's what happened with Nat Turner. You know, he was like, you know what, the ones that's ready to fight for their freedom, stand up. He said, let's go, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? No, and there was a lot of Jake that stand up and join against the force. There was just one Jake, all right, that messes up for the rest.
Exactly.
You know, there's always that one Jake that messes up for the rest, man.
All right. We're ready to die for it. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. See, now those behind.
they saw that in the movie, but that actually happened. And it's the same thing. We see that now. Who's willing to die for the kingdom of heaven to be established? And you got it for niggas that's sitting down. Niggas ain't rising up, bro.
And that's a form of how Jake is now. He's like, you tell Jake when we about to receive, all right, the spirit praying about the time,
Rulership.
all the rulership we're gonna have, and then you got Jake that still want to Man, I think I'm good with this right here. Nigga, John, nigga. They gonna stay here, nigga.
They would love to oppress them.
Yeah, they like being pressed. They like the, I get to go home, keep the feet up, 9 to 5. Hey, man.
Don't you do what Master say.
That's it.
You ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, man. Why niggas telling some, man, y'all trying to manifest your trouble.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get this shit over with. Let's get it on, man.
And that's why they would call him the house nigga, man. Because they would be in the house with the AC and all the good, attributes and things. And they don't wanna give that up.
Getting popped by the master.
Yeah, getting popped by the master.
Niggas got Stockholm syndrome. They was in there falling in love with the master. Master, we sick, master. We, and the slave nigga was like, hey, I'm trying to kill the nigga.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference.
You gotta get to that nigga to get to the slave master.
Right, Steven.
That's
Sneaking off the Django. I was telling my coworker that shit, cause that nigga be acting like Steven off the Django. I said, man, these motherfuckers had all stick together. And when it comes to the niggas, y'all flipping on each other. It's like crabs in a barrel. Like, damn, nigga, like Steven.
Exactly what you're talking about. Wow.
Come on, Steven. And then the nigga actually looks like Stephen A. The sports,
You like Stephen A.
Yeah, he like Stephen A. Smith. So I say, damn, Steve. I call him Steven.
Yeah.
You ain't here quick to go tell. They don't tell on each other. They work together. They all getting raises, riding around in new trucks and shit. We over here scrubbing crumbs together because of your snitching ass. Damn, Steven. They ain't worried about it. You more worried about it than they is. That's the fucking nigga, bro. That's why we can't wait for Lord to kill all you fucking 2/3 niggas. To hell with you. We ain't trying to shake hands. You ain't our people. Fuck y'all niggas, bro.
Everybody has.
But Esau did that shit.
And Jake be snitching on their brother.
Yeah.
They the first to tell the master. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me where he is now. I give you extra piece of cornbread.
Nigga, sell you out for an extra piece of cornbread.
Well, look, master. You ain't here for me, but it was that way.
That's what happened in the movie Birth of a Nation. The little nigga told on him. And the first guy, he was like, nah, man, you get him out of here. He too young. Yeah. And that was the reason why he died, because another nigga told on him, man. That's why you can't trust these fucking niggas, bro. We don't trust none of you fucking niggas, but the Lord gonna kill you fucking niggas. That's why we in the spirit of fuck 2/3. Because it's you same niggas that's holding us back, man. You niggas will fight tooth and nail for this damn devil. Well, you gonna melt with his ass.
Like your own brother for the devil.
That's the Matrix. That's that Matrix movie. He said in the Matrix, he said these people don't want to wake up. They will fight tooth and nail for the system to continue.
Right. And even in when we was in Egypt, you had niggas always complaining, bucking up, trying we should just stayed in Egypt.
Right.
But go your bitch ass back to Egypt then, nigga.
Right. You get out of being oppressed. You get somewhere where you ain't getting your ass whooped, being putting in
Lord feeding you.
Yeah, Lord feeding you, and you talking about going back?
Niggas are still talking shit.
Because you had a little bit of leverage or something?
That's like white 100 now that said, hey, some of the white being niggas. A lot of you niggas was born here in America.
Because they getting them benefits.
Yeah, y'all get the benefits and y'all can't see past America, man. Y'all living in the flesh. Y'all looking at what y'all can see. The money, cars, the clothes, and the hoes, I suppose. That's all they looking at, man.
Right.
They can't imagine them being over Esau and them, being a god. They can't imagine themselves flying, man, with spiritual power. That's why niggas want to stay here, man.
They think America's the end all be all.
Yeah, come on. But that's why they gonna know it after death by pain, man. Y'all gonna understand that and realize that the Lord has something bigger and better in store, and he was trying to get y'all to understand that through his prophets, man.
That's right.
It goes on to say, when they're falling out any war, they join also into our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
And that's what Esau doing right now with them deportations. He getting them up out of the land, but he bringing his people in here. And them South Africans are racist as hell. They was into that apartheid, which was basically it's over there, which they in Africa and somebody else shit talking about, it was segregation. It was segregated. So now you bringing them racist ass Edomites over here. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be worse. But it's the same Edomite spirit.
And they giving their ass all sorts of damn.
Oh yeah. They got houses. They got everything paid for. They got a. But they couldn't give Jake shit. Yeah. But they'll get them whatever they want to live a comfortable life here.
I was in this damn Northern Kingdom man going hell. He was going hell about how they was getting goddamn benefits. And it was like, we still over here struggling.
Right. Not to mention Jake.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about the other day. I was talking about, well, you niggas, y'all lazy. Y'all could have started a house. Y'all could have got a house. Nigga, you know about Black Wall Street? motherfucking Rosewood. I can name all day long black towns where Jake was flourishing and got burnt down or destroyed by Edomites. Or flooded, yeah. Nigga, because you got the Haitians coming over here, Jake. Oh, you black American. Why don't you guys, bitch, snap out of it. You in a millennial captivity. Nigga, you gonna find out. All right? Because there was times where we did rise up and we did have our own communities with everything in it. We was good. Esau came in there and burnt that shit down.
Hey, you had the move back in 1985 where they bombed them. Because they was coming up with, Jake was trying to come together. All right, and they titled their organization The Move. All right, and there's people that still living that can tell you the story about what happened.
Right.
All right, there was a video. I'm probably sending some chapter out for bro, but there was a video with Jake. He was a kid at the time. All right, and he remembers seeing people houses on fire, bombs blowing up, and Esau just coming in,
Yeah, and that's what Esau was doing.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia. Yeah, and it happened all over America, bro. Down here in Florida, you name it. There's a map where you can show you all the black towns that was burnt down or destroyed by envious, demonic, racist Edomites, man.
Hey, man, and then back then, them devils they were showing out back then.
Yeah, they would come through, with truckloads. They'd be on the back of the trucks.
All them up.
Right.
Hey, you know what's crazy, bro? Jake be thinking they can get the guns and go fight against these devils, bro. But these devils will destroy your neighborhood just like that, man. Because I was looking into it as well. In that the Move organization, the way they did it was they was doing aerial bombing.
What's going on over there?
But they was doing they was doing the whole aerial bombing on the town, bro. And that was because Jake was trying to rise up against them. All right, they shut that down real quick.
If I may add to that, that's why these Edomites don't like Jake moving into their neighborhood. I don't know if y'all
They say there goes the neighborhood.
No, not even just that. They had I think right after the movie where him and his family moved into a neighborhood and basically the power went out and the blackout went out and all the neighbors were coming to try to kill them to get them. Yeah, it was that.
Right, and that's how it is, bro. That like the movie that show They or Them. They showing you this shit over and over again. Jake still don't get it, bro. And that's what's gonna happen here in America. Jacob's trouble when the lights go out. Them Edomites gonna start rallying. Listen, I was talking about that shit the other day, bro, because I was in traffic and there was an Edomite that put up next to me. Some funky ass Edomite put next to me in the truck. I'm gonna show you. There was in the truck and I'm at the light. I look over there and they're like this. But they was looking at me like this. Like it's acting weird. I'm like, what the fuck? I kind of look at my laugh. I'm like, then another truck passed by with Edomites in the back of that truck. I started thinking, I said, what if it came a day where all these Edomites came in agreement and said, let's start attacking niggas? What niggas gonna do? Niggas gonna be out there, hey, bastard, hey, but trying to be cool, and they gonna be hunting your ass, man.
You got Edomites behind closed doors that's already coming to the bridge. Just
You're right.
waiting for that time.
They waiting, right.
That's why all those races coming up firsthand. Slaying you, Jake, man.
Hey, I was at work, man, and I was working. My coworker had got into this conversation, and this motherfucker ended up telling me that him and his family got a whole arsenal. I said, whole arsenal? They're like, yeah, we equipped it. We got all this, we got all that. Somebody, we got hammers, we got armor, we got all this. I said, well, I guess we're talking about if all hell was break loose in a way, right?
That's how Edomites is.
He said he got all that. I said, so what you gonna do if some stuff happens? You gonna be in the trees somewhere snipers on him. I said, how the hell Jake gonna fight that, man?
If it's brown, put it down.
Come on, man.
You gotta look back on history how they did it, Jake. Look at Emmett Till. They came and grabbed him out of his sleep, bro. Grabbed him out of his sleep.
Just for 50 years later, the bitches say that she lied.
Jake, and the thing is, I was thinking about it. I was like, bro, I'm gonna watch the movie, and I stopped myself from watching it.
It's gonna make you mad.
It's gonna make you mad.
Bro, I stopped myself from watching it too. I started watching it and I had to turn that shit up. I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna get fucking mad, bro. You know? Yeah, I might fucking want. You say one more thing, bro. You say one more thing.
So I'm watching. I seen a little clip on TikTok, and they grabbed him out of his sleep, and I'm thinking like, damn, Jake, you let these crackers come in your house and grab, bro, my
It wasn't nothing they can do. They all would have died.
Right.
Hey, when I was in high school, my junior year, my teacher made all of us watch it, bro. And you had Jake on one side of the room, a whole bunch of mice on the other side, and Jake just like, what? Like, you know, they like, you can see Jake irritated in their face, like, what the hell? Like, why do you do that to them? This all just looking down.
And that's the history they're trying to hide.
Yeah.
They don't want you to learn about that history in school and whatever. That's something called critical race theory. Well, they don't want you learning about this in school anymore, man. Hey, there was a video that came out from this guy, Banky Pound. He was in prison for like 33 years. And he said he gave an account, the pastor did the video on it, how he gave an account how they stopped allowing them to watch those movies in prison. Because anytime those slave movies or those movies came on the prison, you know, and they were all, because you know, prison, they all sit around and watch it. Any movie come on, any show, when they sit around and watching it. So if they sit around and watch that shit, they say how the black prisoners would get so fucking mad that they'll start abusing the white prisoners. So they had to stop letting them watch those movies, and they literally banned any racial movies from coming into the prison system.
Wow. I'm watching that clip. I'm getting so bad, bro. And his mother described the way she seen him. Like, she said it like somebody took a hatchet and just chopped his face.
And they was torturing him,
then
man.
They burnt him in oil. Look at the image of Emmett Till's face. Right there, you inside. Look at his face on the left and then look at his face on the right.
His eyeballs gone.
She said his eyeballs hanging down his face. So you practice got hell to pay, man.
And then it came out years later, decades later, that she lied. The lady lied. So it wasn't even like, you know, the nigga shouldn't did that. You lied.
And then they put it in the movie that he did it.
Oh, they put a movie he did it?
The movie that he whistled.
Wow.
I see now, I'm like, wow, that's bullshit.
Right.
He ain't even fucking whistle.
I'm already getting mad. All right.
You lose your life over something so small as that, man. Literally, that was a different time. Something that right now so freely he could literally just,
Bro,
keep up. Man, what else is life behind that?
the Lord is going to give this man power, and he's going to give him remembrance at the same time as everything the devil did to us, man. Imagine how bad we're going to be, man. That's why these devils are scared, bro. Because these devils know the Lord's going to give us that remembrance, man. These devils know the Lord's going to expose us, man. And he's going to give power to this elect, man. And guess who they're coming for? The man that's going to be hunting. Bro, they're going to be hunting you down devils now, bro.
Hey, bring that out. Finish that up. Bring it out.
That was it.
Bring it back. Let's grab these precepts. Who was reading? Bring it back.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
We also got hunters.
The book of Exodus 1 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 10 in the KJV. It says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and they come to pass, that when there falleth out any war, they join also into our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
And that's why Esau on this side, he pacified Jake, telling him that Abraham Lincoln freed them.
Right.
You know, always trying to make the so-called white man a savior, which is that whole, you know, Jesus image, you know, but really, you know, that they will pacify Jake to try to avoid an ass whooping. To try to avoid Jake jumping up and rising up against them. Go ahead.
I got a precept.
I got a precept right there. Over Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16.
Obadiah 1 and verse 10 in the GNT. Because you robbed and killed your relatives, the descendants of Jacob, you will be destroyed and dishonored forever.
They robbed and killed us, man. Alright, like I said, bro, so many things these devils did that we don't even know about, bro. That, you know, the whole Emmett Till thing, that was just one incident, bro.
There's many incidents.
It's many Emmett Till. And there's many more that's worse than that.
Right.
You know, there's many dudes that got done way worse than that. Alright? You know, you got Jake that faced prison time, and they just get out for being falsely accused by a white woman, or an Edomite woman. 50-something years. Yeah,
See, look how them Edomites did YAHAWASHI. You know? YAHAWASHI got done working in the too. So you Edomites got hell to pay.
Hey, I was talking to the brother talking about this video I had came across. It was this Jake who had went to go get his car touched up on, and he ended up leaving his car at the shop. All right. Now I don't know if it's true or like maybe a few years back or whatever, but it's recently just came up. And how he had, threw something on the ground, I guess it was a napkin. It later came out to be a napkin. But these Edomites called the police on him and told him that he dropped some weird, strange liquid on the ground. So they went and found the Jake at this store. They grabbed him, beat the hell out of him, all right, to the point where they gathered him and they took him back to the cell. And his mama was able to be contacted by the people that was there. Now this is the point that was messed up. Because when his mama was able to get to him to the point where she was able to speak to him, he said, Mama, they gonna kill me, pretty much. And he was jacked up. When she seen him, he was all jacked up, like messed up. And then later on that night, he was unalive, man. So Esau gonna pay for all the wickedness that he done done, the violence that he done, done to the Lord, to the apple of the Lord's eye. You see, you won't have to pay for that, man. You ain't gonna be able to just get away scot-free. That's why these
Skate off into the sunset.
Yeah.
We all gonna be in heaven together. You crazy? Go ahead, bring the precepts out.
It goes on to say, Obadiah 1:15 in GNT, the day is near when I, the Lord, will judge all nations. Edom, what you have done will be done to you. You will get back what you have given.
So what these devils have brought out to us will be given back unto them, man. The evil, the wickedness, all right, the slavery, the hard bondage. You don't have to go through that captivity, bro. All right. It was you had RDC World, brothers bring out, every time, but they was making a parody about when Jake get powers, bro. And they gonna tell you, oh, what are you gonna do with your powers? You're gonna be a superhero. Nah, whatever y'all did to us, we're gonna do it back into y'all.
Right.
What do you mean?
And that show you that's in Jake's spirit. That's in Jake's heart.
Exactly. Jake waiting for something to happen like that, bro.
He said, oh, you talking about in 1982, does it? He said, hey, you said it?
You said it. You said it. And that's why these wicked elites, they're so terrified of the prophets, bro. Because they know that we understand, like, man, you devils wrong with us, bro. And we still think about it, bro. The rest of these damn Jake, they probably trying to,
Well, they'll say it was the past, but we still suffering for it today. This is how they got ahead, and this is what's got us behind. Not to mention, you got Black Wall Street, Rosewood. Jake was coming back up and was doing better than the Edomites in those particular towns. And Esau came through and burnt that down.
Well, you still got sundown town.
Still got sundown town.
So how can you forget? How can you forget when you can't drive into a neighborhood at a certain time at night?
And then the police brutality.
Yep. He had, Jake getting home. All right. You had that one Jake that went to Walmart. They try to say he hung himself. But we know Jake did that. We know Esau did that. The devils, got a hold of him, bro.
It says, verse 16, my people have drunk a bitter cup of punishment on my sacred hill, but all the surrounding nations will
we drunk a bitter cup of punishment, man. And we were punished, And we had to go through the hell, So, go ahead. What is it?
But all the surrounding nations will drink a still more bitter cup of punishment. They will drink it.
So all the nations that had a hand in our captivity, or a hand in our slavery, we gonna drink an even more bitter, cup of punishment, man. All right, worse than what we had to go through.
They will drink it all and vanish away. So the Lord gonna make all of our enemies disappear, man. You're gonna go into slavery to supermen, superwomen, and super children.
Right.
All right. It goes on to say, jump down a few verses. Verse 21, the victorious men of Jerusalem will attack Edom and rule over it.
So the victorious men of Israel, they gonna become hunters, man. They're gonna attack Edom. All right. The Lord's gonna give them that power. The Lord's gonna give brothers power, man. All right. To be, many heroes, man. All right. To repay upon you devils that you have brought upon us.
It says, and the Lord himself will be king.
The Lord himself will be king, man. All right, and we're going to glorify the Lord in his name. You got any more?
Yeah, we're going to get all around crazy. YAHAWASHI, man. Yeah, we're going to be able to put our foot back on these devils' necks. See, right now, they got their foot on our necks. But right now, at the same time, that foot that they had on our neck for so long is starting to loosen up. It's like, it's like you got a foot on your neck like this, but it's coming on, but somebody here put it on, but this, you know what I'm saying? that's how it is right now. And he trying to put pressure, but he can't. It's coming off. All right, and Esau about to find out what it feel like when he gonna be oppressed, man.
And the brother Abbar said it beautifully. What he said Esau gonna be a damn endangered species. You look at these Animal Planet documentaries, and Esau be showing you these animals that is on the brink of extinction. We gonna be documenting Esau on the brink of extinction.
It says, I got to put it in Jeremiah 16 and verse 16. It reads, behold, I will send for many fishers.
Yeah, right now we're fishers, but we fishing for the elect. You know, we fishing for the man that's coming to the truth, coming to the understanding. All right? You know, being prophets, we try to, find, teach the truth to the man that are meant to get it, bro. All right? Yeah.
Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord YAHAWASHI, and they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters.
Right now we're in the season of fishing. All right? And when you're fishing, you may cast the net into the sea, and you may catch a lot of fish. But a lot of them, not good, clean to eat. So you gotta take out the unclean ones. The unclean ones gotta get sifted out of the net. All right? And the clean ones gotta get kept. But then, once that season of fishing is over, there's gonna be a time of hunting, man. The Lord's gonna make his man hunt. Down to niggas, or the 2/3 niggas, and spicks and devils, man. It's heathen.
If I can back you up, it's not on the fishing. Even when you consider fishing, it's an aspect of being patient. The fish may not come, it may rain, you gotta go back. But when you consider the aspect of being a hunter, you're pursuing your prey. You're not waiting.
Exactly. It's no different from a fisher who's on a boat and he's going that rod
casting the
down.
net.
Yeah. But then afterwards, hey, what they do? They go scuba dive. Now they become hunters. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, who's gonna be, become those hunters again, man? Okay, go ahead. It says, okay, a little bit more. It says, verse 16, reading from the top, it says, behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord YAHAWASHI, and they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
Lord will send many hunters to hunt you out of the hills and holes of the rocks. All right? These devils trying to hide, man. These devils trying to get away. But they ain't going to be able to get away from the man of the Lord, man. All right? I was into that. I got to piece up. This is the book of Isaiah 32 and verse 1. Look, and it's NLT, by the way. Look, a righteous king is coming. A righteous king, which is YAHAWASHI. All right, he's coming. And the Lord, appointed YAHAWASHI to rule over Israel. Yeah? And honest princes will rule under him. And honest princes will rule under him. Those honest princes are the prophets. All right? The man of the Lord that endured all the way to the end. That stayed faithful. All right? That were honest to the Lord. Okay? All right?
It says, verse 3, verse 2, each one will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm.
The Lord will raise up many heroes, man. Brothers. All right? Because even though we're going to be, the Lord will make us hunters, our Lord will also have us, protecting some of the people that he needs to be protected. Some of the that need to be protected, man. All right? So these men will be like a refuge, man. A shelter from the wind, from the storm. All right? And that's when Jake, going to follow after these men. They're going to follow after the prophets, the men of the Lord.
Like the streams of water in the desert, in the shadow of a great rock in the forest land, and bro.
How old you is?
What's your name? So what we teaching right here.
Hey, how old are you?
10.
About to be a man.
What we teaching right here, you see you walking by, you looking. The teaching right here is that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to be the next rulers, all right? Under the Lord YAHAWASHI, who that ignorant called Jesus. Ignorant. Before you go to church, or you know what this is? Dr. Horns, though? Yeah, that's what they taught you. They taught you that this man was God, that this man was the Messiah. ultimately, this was the devil that they painted and they deceived us with. So ultimately, what we're telling you is that the true Messiah is the so-called black man, so-called black man. All right, he's coming back to save his people. All right. Now I got a question for you. What is your race according to your father? What are you? You black? So your dad is a so-called African American. Okay, so you be from the tribe of Judah. All right. So with that knowledge, all right, you're pretty young. You're getting up to that age. What we're teaching is that you want to serve the Lord YAHAWASHI. So when he does come back, all right, you can be saved from the coming nuclear missile fire. All right, because we're coming to a time when the world, as we know it, is going to change. All right, it's not going to be no more people just playing ball, and there's going to be marriages and people partying. That's going to change, and the reason why it's going to change is because it's coming to a time where the Lord is going to destroy this place. All right, but before that destruction comes, this is going to come, which is called the MOTB in the Bible. Right? RFID chip. And it's a chip that they're going to implant into your skin. And you want to deny that. You want to say no to that. That's a no-no. Alright? So when the devil's trying to come, they try to, get you to get that chip in your hand. When the Lord comes back and you got it, you won't be saved. So all we teach you right here is that when we come back into the Lord, verse 4, and that we're supposed to be really how about
Yeah, you an Israelite. You ain't black. You Israelite, and you 10. See, the age of accountability is 12. Right now, you under your parents, but as you turn 12 years old, then you under the age of accountability. That's when you start becoming the man. You start going through puberty. You start wanting to go out more. So what the brother telling you is, as in your young age, start seeking the Bible. You got a phone? Go on YouTube and type in Prophets in Babylon. All right, and watch these shows. Watch these lessons. Go grow. You're very impressionable. See, what's going to happen is the white man going to have you being getting, taught the wicked way. But the Lord got men upsetting you down the righteous path, or the right way. All right?
You got any questions or anything on that? When you know that you're an Israelite, all right?
From the tribe of Judah.
From the tribe of Judah. All right, the head tribe. So you gotta come back into the Lord so you can be saved from that. Those nuclear fire. There's going to be hell brought upon earth. And you don't want to be a part of that hell.
He said what?
That's all we'll do to it.
Okay.
Hey, ultimately, we are YouTube.
We on YouTube.
Our platform is on YouTube. But we're bringing out the truth. All right? We're bringing out the true word. Not just out here making content.
Brain rock content. Because these streamers, they making brain rock content, man. But the point is, we're making real content for the Lord. So if you're going to be a YouTuber, you want to be a righteous YouTuber. Pushing out righteous content instead of just a bunch of garbage.
Good work. Good fruit. That's what's going to bring upon you salvation. All right? But what I'm going to say, from the top of game, verse 3 in the NLT, Isaiah 32:3. Then everyone who has eyes will be able to see the truth, and everyone who has ears will be able to hear it. So everybody's going to notice and they're going to see the truth, man. They're going to realize who the right men were, from the beginning. All right? The brothers that were prophesying that they mocked and scoffed, all right? Because they looked at these damn devils, all right, at a high level. They look at these devils as an angel of light, all right? But they're being exposed now, all right? Everyone's going to hate these devils. They won't hate Satan, bro. They really fooled us. All right, see how they get exposed now? This is just a low level. But the type of explosion that the Lord is going to bring upon Esau, Edom, all right, is going to have everyone wanting to persecute them. All right? It says, even the hotheads will be full of sense and understanding. Those who stammer will speak out plainly. So even the hotheads, all right, Jake don't know nothing. Jake was prideful. They don't want to listen. All right, they ain't gonna be understanding. They gonna be like,
And that was us some of us prior to coming into this truth.
But some Jake got to see it to believe it. They gonna see these devils for who they really are. They gonna realize what these devils have been doing. They're gonna be angry. It says, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels will not be respected. For fools speak
foolishness and make evil plans.
Hey, ungodly fools. What it say? That day ungodly fools.
Smaki will not be hearers.
So ungodly fools, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, 'cause they looked at as the world right now. America's looked at it, put on a pedestal right now, all right, like an angel of light, all right. But in that day, they won't be respected, bro. All right, they're gonna be exposed. They're gonna be seen for the dirt, the wickedness that they have sold, man. All right, and that's what's gonna bring them, into a lower state. That everyone's going to be trying to persecute this thing. You see how everybody's trying to, picking at Diddy. They don't like Diddy. They mad at Diddy. All right. Because at one point Diddy was on the high. All right, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's Diddy." He was a celebrity. And now he's become one of the most hated men. All right, because they figured out all the things that he was doing behind closed doors and who he was doing it with. All right.
For fools speak foolishness and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord.
That's what Esau was doing. All right? They were practicing ungodliness. And even our people, man, even 2/3 Jakes, they're fools, man. All right? They went against the Lord. They came against the Lord and his prophets. All right? So that's why when the Lord comes back, he's going to expose everything. And they're going to, another thing that's going to be exposed is who the true prophet of the Lord is. Alright? And who the Lord is. Alright?
They deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty.
So these devils deprive the hungry of food. Alright? Jake. You know what I'm saying? They deprived them of food. Gave them no water. That's how it was in slavery and captivity. They deprived us of food even now. They can't eat all the time. They go to sleep hungry. They go to sleep thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Jake can't afford, groceries. The way prices are going up now, they could barely afford it back then. But that's all because we're in captivity right now. We're first people.
This one, the Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. It says, "So you shall not feed the land wherein you are, and for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed with the blood that is shed therein."
They defiled this man with our blood, man. Alright? They defiled this man with our blood when we went to slavery, when we went to captivity, even now. Alright? I was just talking to this damn Edomite girl at my job. He was telling me how he be speeding down Fowler, alright, and he got pulled over like 6-7 times. And he even got written warnings. And he still hasn't gotten a ticket that he had to pay. He said the only ticket he had to pay was a red light ticket. So we are not the same, man. These devils got all the different types of perks because of who they are. But if that was us, we wouldn't even get a written warning. Jay wouldn't get no written warning, man.
Scripture says they are not troubled as other men.
Exactly.
So we feel like they can do some shit and get away with it. We had a comedian Mike Epps. He said, "Shit, why did you got the car when the police got the car? What the fuck you pull me over for? You better not even think about getting the car and snap on the police.
What?
Make an example out your black ass."
I'm trying to tell you. It was just I seen a TikTok of Jake that was paralyzed from, all the way from the ball to his legs. So they would keep telling him to get out of the car. He's like, "Well, I can't get out of the car." Literally, you can't. And they literally forced Jake to get out of the car. They put him down in his handcuffs, bro. Alright? He's like, "Damn, man, they put me, bro, I can't even walk." You know what I'm saying? But they don't give a, they don't care. Jake ready they off the less, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were waiting for you to say you can't walk. Oh, he's resisting. He's resisting. You can't walk. Get out. They forced him to get out. Alright? And to the point where they persecuted him right there on the street. Put him in handcuffs, man. Alright? It goes on the same.
For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, and by the blood of him that shed.
So sacrifice is required. And you people are like, you're going to get burnt up here in America, man. America is one big altar. Okay? America is one big altar and you people are sacrificing. Yep. Okay? And we're not covered by YAHAWASHI sacrifice. And that's how
It must be cleansed by your blood, bro. Alright? That's why we're going to bring down the death, destruction, and which are originally meant for Esau. Alright? Destroy Esau, man. You know? Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. For I, the Lord YAHAWASHI, shall dwell among the children of Israel. Yes, and the Lord dwelling amongst us. But guess what? You know, He's going to take us from His land and He's going to actually put us in our own land, where that land isn't going to be defiled. America is defiled, bro. It's defiled by blood. Everywhere you step is stolen property. Here you have it. This nigga got this park has a name. Before it had a name, it was someone's own. Alright, the Seminole Indians, the Native American Indians, this was their land. You stole it, you murdered and raped and robbed them. You know, did all type of deception to it, man. You don't think it's a judgment for that? Lord seeing, that's what I said, bro. Lord seeing all of this, bro. Things that we don't know, we can't even comprehend or think of.
You really can recollect what we experienced in life.
Exactly. Or that what has been exposed. So we don't see everything these damn devils did to us, bro. And imagine how mad Jake gonna be. Imagine how bad it's gonna be for Esau when they get that power and remember that. It's gonna be horrible, bro.
All those things like that was murder, rape, rob, they all coming back in the kingdom.
Yeah.
The Lord will give you that memory.
Oh yeah.
So you got guys like Emmett Till, you know, Jake that was what his name? Talil Rice. All these Jakes that just happened, these strange cases just happened.
Yeah.
They all gonna be in the kingdom, man.
Yeah.
We all see what's that lady name? They got away with the Emmett Till murder.
Caroline.
Yeah, whatever that. And I'm seeing the point. The point is, in this life, she seems to got away. And see, you didn't consider that you must pay for it after death. So you ain't get judged here. Cool, live out your little 60 days. You live 60 years. Okay? Now you gotta belong to that man for 1,000 years.
And then you get eradicated. Yeah. And then you get erased. You know?
This is 1 Timothy 6 and verse 12. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession.
Fight the gut fight of faith. And that's what we're doing. Alright? Exposing these devils. Exposing the truth. Of what these devils have been doing unto us. Alright? They have the wicked devices and plans that they set up against us. We're exposing it all, bro. And we're fighting that good fight of faith. Alright, bring it back.
It says, fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life.
And we're laying hold on eternal life. Alright? Alright, enduring in this truth, man. Alright? And striving up to death in this truth, man. Alright? This right here, this word, bro, is a lot more powerful than Jake really think, bro. They think we just doing this for a reason. They think we just out here, you know, just saying whatever. Alright? Just spewing out of our mouth nonsense. But they're gonna realize when all hell breaks loose, when the Lord comes back, the Lord exposes, you know, fully exposes these devils and expose the truth. Alright? They will realize, you know, they was right at that time. Somebody get a pop up in the moment. So I want I got it.
It says, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses.
We have been called, man. We have professed this good profession upon many witnesses, man. Everybody's witnessing this truth. Everybody's seeing our faces every weekend. Alright? Every time we come out here for camp. People are seeing us, bro. They realize, okay, who are these guys? Alright? And we're professing our profession right here, man. Alright? The truth is being brought up right here. You know,
Ezekiel 33 and verse 31. So my people come pretending to be sincere and to the Lord you.
There'll be Jake that come before you while you preaching or you teaching. Alright? Pretend to be sincere, putting on the show. Oh yeah, shalom, brother. You know, I'm hearing. You know, going ahead.
They listen to your words, but they have no intention. It's like no intention of doing what you say.
They listen to our words and hear what we say and hear what we preach. They have no intention of actually following after the truth. Alright? Jake may, comply or, yeah, this the truth right here. But you want to see Jake again. That might be, that could be last week you see him. Because Jake ain't really about it for him.
All right? Their mouths are full of lustful words, and their hearts only seek after money.
Their mouths are full of lustful words, man. All right? And their hearts only seek after money. That's hopefully a 2/3 Jake overall. All right? All they speak of lustful words and they're lusting after the flesh, lusting after other women, other men's women, lusting after food and all these different things.
Let's get ready to close out. Grab your last precepts.
All right? And their hearts is after money, man. Their minds is after money. Their minds is after riches in this place. All right? And with that, they will give anything up for that money. Because that's where their mind is at. It said where your heart is, your treasure will be also, man.
You are very entertaining to them. Like
We're just entertaining to these fools, man. We're entertaining them right now. This is entertainment. You have Jake now come up, they will just listen and watch. You know what I'm saying? Because they're bored. They don't have nothing else to do today. All right? They fell off after high school. Now they're just lonely and they want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, or you have people coming this thing just because they want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
Not really understanding what they're a part of.
Yeah.
They think it's a Boy Scout club. That's why you have guys come in, they always want to part. Hey, brother. Whenever the chicken going out, whenever it's beers and chicken, niggas ears perk up, nigga eyes get wide. You remember my old boy? Y'all about to drink? Oh, come on, man. That was one of them, dude.
the cartoon character when they smell some pop.
Yeah, they smell something like an addict. When you smell some liquor, eyes get wide. Nigga looking crazy. Nigga like looking crazy all day. I mentioned the beer. Eyes wide up. Jake just come around for the chicken, man. And that's what they was doing to YAHAWASHI. They would just come around because YAHAWASHI was feeding them. So the YAHAWASHI said, hey, y'all get out. I ain't feeding y'all no more, bro. Niggas was looking to fill their belly.
Being entertained, man. They would come in for a season and leave for any reason. All right, because they wasn't true about the faith.
It says, like someone who sings love songs with a beautiful voice.
Yeah. So they look at us like somebody that sings love songs with a beautiful voice. They're entertained. Oh, yeah, Jake liked it for the moment. And we gonna get spiritual powers. Multiple women. But they don't know what it's truly about.
But then when you tell them you can't smoke a blunt no more,
oh yeah,
you can't eat pork no more.
gotta cut off the dreads.
Gotta cut them dreads off. Oh, these niggas crazy, man.
Can't go to the club no more.
Right.
That's when you start getting critical.
It goes on to say or play fine music on an instrument. They hear what you say, but don't act on it.
They hear what we say, but they don't act on it. All right, they don't really want to do it. They don't want to put their hands to work. All right. Okay.
But when all these terrible things happen to them, as they certainly will,
And they will.
then they will know a prophet has been among them.
All these terrible things from the past happen to you. I think it certainly will. Everything we prophesied, everything we told you and warned you about. Once these things happen, it's all hell break loose. Then shall they know a prophet has been among them. Then shall they know brothers have been telling them this whole time. One moment, we conspiracy theorists right now, but in that day, we're gonna be the ones y'all looking for. That was enough. Any more precepts?
This is I want to grab it earlier when the top of the thing was revealed. This angel bring them back. It says 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord YAHAWASHI shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Which is the prophets. The Lord is revealing this man with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. Esau is being revealed. It's been found. Everybody's pointing the finger at the Edomites and the small hats. The small hats and the white Christians pointing the finger at each other. You're Esau. No, you're Esau. No, you're Esau. Like that Spider-Man meme. Like they're being revealed. They're being found out. And it's because of the mouth of the Lord is his prophet. Scripture says the Lord speaks through the mouth of his holy prophets.
And that's why this lesson is called Exposing the Dark Rooms. Because we are the ones that will bridge it, exposing the spirit of death. Alright? God was speaking through us. You can't just come across this type of knowledge. You can't just find this out anywhere, bro. That was the Lord, man. Alright?
It says, he shall destroy with the brightness of
Mm.
Shall be destroyed, right? So the Lord come back, all right? The truth is going to be sprung up, all right? Infidelity shall be cut off, all right? That's when you know people gonna know. They're gonna see, okay, this is the truth. This is the world, man. All right, these brothers is right. All right, and that's when brothers are gonna be exalted. All right, the Lord's gonna be exalted. So with that, any other precept? Lord willing, this lesson was edifying for the hopeful elect and ones again. Once again, we give them honor to all the apostles, the great those strong and teaching the world. We give all honor, glory, and praise to
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH.
Shalom.